Hi everyone, it's me, Andrea from Andy's Corner. And I know it's been a while since I've posted a video, so I know you're at the edge of your seats to find out what's next. So let's dig in. Last we left off in chapter 30, where we already knew that Jacob married two sisters, no bueno, and he started having all these kids. By the time at the end of our reading, he had about, I think it was 11 kids, and the last one was by Rachel, whose name was Joseph. So, here we go. Chapter 30, verse 25. Soon after Rachel had given birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, "Please release me so I can go home to my own country. Let me take my wives and children, for I have earned them by serving you, and let me be on my way. You certainly know how hard I have worked for you." Now remember, he fled from home because he was afraid that his twin brother would kill him for stealing his blessing. Okay? And that's when he went to his uncle Laban's house. And he married these women and said he would work 7 years for Rachel, got Leah, and then said, okay, I'll work 7 more years for Rachel. This whole time, he's not had any wages. He's just been working for free. So, please listen to me, Laban replied. I have become wealthy, for the Lord has blessed me because of you. Tell me how much I owe you. Whatever it is, I'll pay it. Now, different commentaries say that he figured out that he got blessed because he went to divination and said, why am I so blessed? And they said, because the Lord is with Joseph and Joseph is with you. So, but this text doesn't specifically say that. I just wanted you to know that. Because obviously, God's people do not believe in divination. So that it kind of, if it is true, it kind of shows you a picture into Laban. Maybe he doesn't even serve God, the same God of Abraham. It's not very clear. So, Jacob replied, you know how hard I have worked for you, and how your flocks and herds have grown under my care. You had little indeed before I came, but your wealth has increased enormously. The Lord has blessed you through everything I've done. But now, what about me? When can I start providing for my own family? That is a perfect question. Like any father or husband desires to provide appropriately for their family. He's 14 years older now, and he's like, I need to start thinking about my 11 children, my 2 wives and 2 concubines. I need to start earning my own wages and being able to save and have my own wealth. What wages do you want? Laban asked again. Jacob replied, don't give me anything. Just do this one thing, and I'll continue to tend to watch your flocks. Let me inspect your flocks today and remove all the sheep and goats that are speckled or spotted, along with all the black sheep. Give these to me as your wages. In the future, when you check on the animals you have given me as my wages, you'll see that I have been honest. If you find in my flock any goats without speckles or spots, or any sheep that are not black, you will know that I have stolen them from you. All right, Laban replied, it will be as you say. But, sneaky Laban, that very day Laban went out and removed the male goats that were streaked and spotted, and all the female goats that were speckled and spotted, or had white patches, and all the black sheep. He placed them in the care of his own sons, who took them on a 3-day journey from where Jacob was. Meanwhile, Jacob stayed and cared for the rest of Laban's flock. Now, what does that mean? That means that in a huge flock, this culture typically tends to want like the ones that are pure white, no blemishes, no spots, none of this mixture of like brown and white. No, they like the pure white sheep, the white goats with no blemishes or spots. But Laban is so tricky. That night he took away all the animals that Joseph asked for. So basically in his flock there were 0. So Laban's like, basically, oh, but again, he's like, oh, I love you. I want to pay you. You're like my son. And then he treats him like this. Laban is sneaky. Everybody, this whole family is sneaky, to be honest, with these women. It's crazy. Okay. Then Jacob took some fresh branches from poplar, almond, and plane trees and peeled off strips of bark, making white streaks on them. Then he placed these peeled branches in the watering troughs where the flocks came to drink, for that was where they mated. And when they mated in front of the white streaked branches, they gave birth to young that were streaked, speckled, and spotted. Jacob separated those lambs from Laban's flock. And at mating time, he turned the flock to face Laban's animals that were streaked or spotted or black. This is how he built his own flock, instead of increasing Laban's. Whenever the stronger females were ready to mate, Jacob would place the peeled branches in the watering troughs in front of them. Then they would mate in front of the branches. But he didn't do this with the weaker ones. So the weaker lambs belonged to Laban, and the stronger ones were Jacob's. As a result, Jacob became very wealthy with large flocks of sheep and goats, female and male servants, and many camels and donkeys. The end. Now, this is so interesting. The Bible doesn't clarify here that this may have been like a cultural thing that they did, and it was a known trick that you could do with your goats and sheep to make them breed speckled and spotted children, or kids, as baby goats are called. And it could have been God's wisdom. We don't know, but we do know that regardless of how he went about it, God blessed him. And actually, God already blessed him before he did this by blessing Laban because Jacob was there. So, what does this say? What is this insight? What does this give us, this insight into God's character? I think when I read this, I think it's so cool that sometimes God's children are put in difficult situations, but God will give us insight and wisdom, whether it's something cultural that we've learned through studying or researching, or sometimes it's directly from God and he gives us wisdom to flourish and to be blessed and to be successful. So my encouragement to you is sometimes if you feel like you're stuck in a corner and you don't know what to do and you just are like, I need help, I need a rescue, pray. I feel like when we go to the Lord searching for a solution, he will give it to us. Whether it's in his Bible or he might bring someone to you to give you advice or wisdom of the day that's been researched, who knows? But I believe, based on his word, that he will always answer our prayers. And if you stay obedient to his word and you cry out to him for help when you need rescue, when you need success, when you need something to move forward. Jacob wanted to go home, but he was basically poor, working for his uncle. And here, God blessed him, and his flock was not only bigger, but stronger. It was the stronger sheep, the stronger goats. And to me, I feel like that's God's protection and provision over Jacob and his family. Even though all the way they went about it was kind of shady. Leah, Rachel, Laban, Jacob stealing Esau's blessing. But in a sense, though, it kind of can give you a little bit of peace that we know we're not perfect. Although we can strive to be like Christ, who was perfect, we're going to mess up. But even though we mess up, God is perfect and he loves us perfectly. And if we try to be obedient, he will bless us. He will provide for us. He is our provider. And that's what I see in this story. And I love that. So stay tuned to find out. Does Jacob get to leave or not? All right. Bye.